Today we gather to discuss a topic that touches the core of our humanity, our need for love, affection, and attention. But I want to challenge the way we sometimes approach this need. Let me ask you this: have you ever found yourself pleading for someone's time, attention, or affection, feeling as though your worth depended on their acknowledgement? If so, it's time to shift the narrative. First and foremost, understand this truth: you are enough. Your value is not determined by someone else's ability to see it. The moment you beg for love, you hand over your power. Love isn't something to be coerced or demanded, it's a gift freely given. And when it's real, it doesn't require you to diminish yourself or compromise your self-respect. Let's talk about self-worth. Everything begins with how you see yourself. If you don't respect your own time, energy, and emotions, how can you expect someone else to? Your self-respect is a mirror that reflects the kind of relationships you attract. Set boundaries, not as a punishment to others, but as a safeguard for your dignity. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual effort. Love that is worth having is reciprocal. It flows naturally without force or manipulation. Begging for attention places you in a position of powerlessness, and no relationship built on imbalance will ever stand the test of time. Instead, focus on building connections where your voice matters and your presence is valued. Here's the key, my friends: focus on growth, not approval. The energy you invest in seeking validation from others can be redirected toward becoming the best version of yourself. When you stand confidently in your own truth, you attract people who respect and cherish you for who you are, not for what you can do to earn their attention. Finally, remember this: you are your first and longest relationship. Treat yourself with kindness, compassion, and love. Fill your own cup so that you never feel the need to beg for someone to pour into you. Never beg for love, affection, or attention. Instead, live in a way that makes these things come to you naturally. The right people will see your worth without you having to prove it. Let me start by saying this: the foundation of any healthy relationship, be it romantic, familial, or platonic, begins with how you perceive and value yourself. Understanding your self-worth is not just a concept, it's a way of life that determines how others treat you. The first and most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. If you don't nurture it, no amount of external validation will ever feel enough. So many of us fall into the trap of seeking love, affection, or attention from others, believing it will fill a void within us. But here's the truth: no one else can give you the sense of wholeness you are searching for. When you depend on someone else to validate your existence or make you feel worthy, you hand over control of your happiness. That's a dangerous position to be in, because it means your sense of value is now dependent on something outside yourself, something you can't control. Think about how you treat yourself on a daily basis. Are you kind to yourself, or are you your harshest critic? Do you speak words of encouragement to yourself, or do you undermine your own achievements? The way you treat yourself sets the tone for how others treat you. If you consistently neglect your own needs or doubt your own worth, you're essentially telling the world that it's okay to do the same. When you value yourself, you naturally create boundaries. These boundaries are not walls to keep people out, but guidelines that define how you deserve to be treated. They are a reflection of your self-respect. For example, if someone doesn't reciprocate the love or attention you're giving, valuing yourself means you step back rather than chase them. It's not about arrogance or being dismissive, it's about recognizing that your energy is too precious to be wasted on people who don't appreciate it. Begging for love or attention stems from a place of insecurity. It's a plea to be seen, to be heard, to matter. But the reality is that the moment you beg, you diminish your own light. You send a message, both to yourself and to the other person, that their validation is more important than your self-worth. This creates an unhealthy dynamic, one where you constantly give more than you receive and end up feeling drained and unfulfilled. True self-value means understanding that you are inherently worthy, just as you are. You don't need to be more successful, more attractive, or more accomplished to earn love. The people who genuinely care for you will see your worth without you having to prove it. This doesn't mean you stop striving for personal growth. It means you grow because you love yourself, not because you're trying to earn someone else's approval. When you value yourself first, you also attract better relationships. People are drawn to confidence, and when you exude self-worth, you naturally filter out those who don't respect you. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how some people command respect without even asking for it? That's the power of valuing yourself. It's not loud or boastful, it's quiet, firm, and undeniable. Valuing yourself also means recognizing when to let go. Not everyone you meet is meant to stay in your life, and that's okay. Sometimes the people you love the most are the ones who are not capable of giving you the love and attention you deserve. It's not your job to fix them, nor is it your responsibility to lower your standards to accommodate their shortcomings. Loving yourself means having the courage to walk away when a situation no longer serves your growth or well-being. Ultimately, valuing yourself is not a one-time decision, it's a daily practice. It's in the small choices you make, choosing to say no when something doesn't feel right, prioritizing your mental and emotional health, and surrounding yourself with people who uplift you rather than drain you. It's in recognizing that you are complete on your own, and that love, affection, and attention from others are bonuses, not necessities. When you value yourself first, you set the stage for everything else in your life to fall into place. You become the kind of person who doesn't need to beg for love or attention because you already know you're worthy of it. And that, my friends, is the most powerful gift you can give yourself. Let us reflect on a vital truth. Independence is the cornerstone of emotional strength and self-fulfillment. It is the ability to stand on your own, to find peace and joy within yourself, and to live a life driven by your values and purpose, rather than the approval or validation of others. Independence is not about isolation or detachment from others. It is about creating a solid foundation within yourself that allows you to build meaningful relationships from a place of strength, rather than dependency. When we rely on others to meet all our emotional needs, we unintentionally give them power over our happiness. This dependence can become a heavy burden on any relationship because no one person can bear the responsibility of being someone else's entire source of joy. It's unfair to them, and it's limiting for you. Emotional independence, on the other hand, liberates you. It allows you to form connections with others based on shared values, mutual respect, and genuine affection rather than out of need or desperation. The power of independence begins with self-awareness. To be truly independent, you must know yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, passions, and boundaries. Take time to understand what fulfills you and what drains you. Recognize the difference between companionship and codependency. While companionship enhances your life, codependency diminishes your ability to thrive on your own. Independence means valuing your individuality and not sacrificing your identity to fit into someone else's mold. Being independent also means embracing your own company. Many people fear solitude because they associate it with loneliness. But solitude, when approached with the right mindset, can be one of the most enriching experiences of your life. It gives you the space to reflect, to grow, and to reconnect with your inner self. It teaches you to appreciate your own worth and to understand that you are complete as you are. When you enjoy your own company, you are less likely to seek attention or validation from others to fill a void. Independence doesn't mean rejecting help or support from others. It's about knowing when to accept help and when to rely on your own strength. True independence is balanced. It recognizes that while we are capable of standing on our own, we are also part of a larger community. It's about contributing to relationships rather than depending on them to sustain you. It's about asking for support when needed, without losing your sense of self. Another key aspect of independence is learning to make decisions that align with your values and goals. Often people compromise their dreams to please others or to avoid conflict. But living for someone else's approval is a form of dependency that robs you of your authenticity. When you are independent, you trust your own judgment and take responsibility for your choices. You learn to say no when something doesn't serve your growth, and you develop the courage to pursue what truly matters to you, even if it means going against the grain. Independence also strengthens your resilience. Life is unpredictable, and relationships, no matter how strong, can change or end. If your happiness depends solely on someone else, you are left vulnerable when circumstances shift. Independence ensures that you can adapt and thrive, no matter what life throws your way. It gives you the confidence to face challenges on your own terms and the flexibility to rebuild when necessary. Perhaps most importantly, independence allows you to love freely and authentically. When you don't need someone to complete you, you can approach relationships from a place of abundance rather than lack. You are not seeking someone to fix you or to fill a void, but rather someone to share your already fulfilling life with. This kind of love is not about clinging or controlling, it is about partnership and mutual growth. The power of independence is transformative. It empowers you to live a life that is true to who you are. It enables you to give and receive love without fear or dependency. And most of all, it reminds you that your happiness, your peace, and your worth are not found in others, they are found within yourself. Independence is not a destination, it is a journey, one that leads to a stronger, freer, and more fulfilled version of you. Let us delve into a profound truth about human connection. Love, affection, and attention should flow freely, not be coerced, manipulated, or begged for. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and authenticity, where both parties feel seen, valued, and appreciated without the need for constant persuasion. When these essential elements are absent, forcing them does not lead to genuine connection, but to an imbalance that can harm both individuals involved. The essence of love lies in its freedom. It cannot be demanded or extracted, it must be given willingly. Begging for someone's love or attention, whether through words, actions, or silent desperation, erodes your sense of self-worth. It creates a dynamic where one person feels obligated to provide something they may not genuinely want to give, and the other person is left clinging to a fragile sense of validation. True love cannot thrive in this environment. It requires mutual willingness, a shared commitment, and the natural desire to uplift each other. When you beg for love, you often compromise your authenticity. You start molding yourself to fit someone else's expectations, suppressing your true feelings, opinions, and desires to maintain their approval. This is not love, it's performance. Over time, this act can exhaust you emotionally, leaving you feeling empty and disconnected from your true self. Genuine relationships flourish when both people can show up as their authentic selves, without fear of rejection or judgment. Begging for love also shifts the power dynamic in a relationship, creating an imbalance that can be hard to rectify. The person who is being begged often assumes a position of control, consciously or unconsciously. They may begin to take the other person for granted, knowing that their attention and affection will always be sought after, regardless of how they behave. This can lead to manipulation, resentment, and a lack of mutual respect. Healthy relationships, by contrast, are partnerships where power is shared and decisions are made together. Another critical aspect to consider is that when you feel the need to beg for someone's attention or affection, it's a signal that the relationship may not be meeting your emotional needs. Relationships should be a source of support, comfort, and joy, not a constant struggle to feel valued or included. If you find yourself begging for love, it's worth asking whether the other person is truly capable of giving you the kind of connection you deserve. Sometimes it's not about you, it's about their inability to provide what you're seeking. Begging also clouds your judgment. When you are desperate for someone's love, you may overlook red flags or tolerate behavior that is harmful or disrespectful. You might rationalize their actions, convincing yourself that if you try harder, they will eventually reciprocate your feelings. This mindset not only puts you at risk of emotional harm, but also prevents you from seeing the situation clearly and making decisions that honor your self-worth. The antidote to begging is self-love and patience. When you love yourself, you recognize that you are deserving of love and attention that is freely given. You don't settle for scraps of affection or tolerate relationships that make you feel small. Instead, you wait for connections that are rooted in mutual respect and genuine care. Self-love is not about arrogance or dismissiveness, it's about knowing your value and refusing to accept less than you deserve. Patience, too, plays a vital role. Love is not always immediate or effortless. Sometimes it takes time for the right person to come into your life or for an existing relationship to grow stronger. But forcing or begging for love will not accelerate this process. It will only create frustration and disappointment. Trust that the love meant for you will come at the right time, and in the meantime, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Love is one of life's greatest gifts, but it cannot be begged for or demanded. It must arise naturally, from a place of mutual desire and shared respect. When you stop chasing love and start valuing yourself, you create the space for genuine connection to enter your life. And when it does, you will know it was not because you begged for it, but because you were ready to receive it. It's essential to understand that your value as a person is not tied to how much love, attention, or affection you receive from others. Too often, people measure their worth through the lens of external validation, believing that the care and approval of others define their significance. This mindset not only diminishes your self-esteem, but also places your happiness and sense of self-worth in the hands of others, leaving you vulnerable to their actions, opinions, or absence. Recognizing that your worth is inherent and unchanging is the first step toward cultivating a life of self-respect and emotional freedom. Your worth is not something you need to prove or earn. It is not determined by the number of people who like you, the praise you receive, or the attention others give you. You are valuable simply because you exist. This intrinsic value does not waver based on external circumstances, nor does it depend on whether someone else recognizes it. The challenge lies in reminding yourself of this truth when the world around you tries to convince you otherwise. When you tie your value to external factors, you give away your power. You might find yourself overextending to please others, saying yes when you mean no, or suppressing your true thoughts and feelings to avoid conflict or rejection. While these behaviors may temporarily secure approval or attention, they come at the cost of your authenticity and self-respect. Over time, the effort to sustain this facade can leave you feeling drained, resentful, and disconnected from your true self. Conversely, when you understand that your worth is inherent, you begin to prioritize self-respect over external validation. This doesn't mean you stop caring about others or seeking meaningful connections. It means you approach relationships from a place of strength and confidence rather than neediness or insecurity. You set healthy boundaries, communicate your needs clearly, and refuse to tolerate disrespect or mistreatment. These actions don't just protect your emotional well-being, they also demonstrate to others that you value yourself, encouraging them to do the same. One of the most liberating realizations is that not everyone will see your worth, and that's okay. Their inability to recognize your value says more about them than it does about you. It's impossible to please everyone or to fit into every mold that others create for you. Trying to do so only leads to frustration and a diluted sense of self. Instead, focus on aligning with those who appreciate and celebrate you for who you truly are. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, support your growth, and reciprocate your kindness and care. A key part of embracing your inherent worth is practicing self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself when you make mistakes or fall short of your expectations. Remember that your worth isn't diminished by your imperfections, it's part of what makes you human. Self-compassion allows you to extend the same understanding and kindness to yourself that you readily give to others, fostering a sense of inner peace and resilience. Another important aspect is celebrating your individuality. Your unique combination of experiences, talents, perspectives, and quirks is what makes you irreplaceable. Embrace what sets you apart instead of trying to conform to societal expectations or the preferences of others. When you take pride in your authenticity, you radiate a confidence and self-assuredness that naturally attracts the right kind of relationships into your life. Your worth is also reflected in how you treat yourself. Prioritize self-care, invest in your personal growth, and honor your goals and aspirations. These actions reinforce the message that you are deserving of love and care, both from yourself and from others. The more you nurture yourself, the less you'll feel the need to seek validation from external sources. Understanding and embracing your inherent worth is a transformative journey. It allows you to break free from the cycle of seeking love and attention to feel valued. It empowers you to live authentically with confidence and purpose. And most importantly, it reminds you that your worth is not something that can be given or taken away. It is a constant, unwavering truth that exists within you. When you fully grasp this, you no longer feel the need to beg for affection or approval, because you already know you are enough.